The news at noon starts right now.
We start with late-breaking news this noon. There is a heavy police presence. We're keeping an eye on it just southeast of downtown.
Yeah, we're still working to get some information, but our Daniela Ibarra is on the scene near South Hackberry Street and I-10. So, Daniela, set the scene for us.
Well, David, 5 minutes ago, there was a scene, but police have cleared out. They've torn down the crime scene tape. We were here for the past hour or so watching different police officers, and we did see someone wearing a homicide jacket go around and question neighbors. We were told that we would have to wait to get information from the public information office. So right now we don't have any details, but of course we're working to learn more for you. So I'll send it back to you.
Thank you so much, Daniela. We will check back with you in just a bit. Meantime, body camera video will no doubt be part of the investigation into why police shot a man to death after a traffic stop went wrong. Police say the man had a gun and they had no choice but to fire. Katrina Weber with what neighbors say they heard and what happens now to the two officers who drew their weapons.
A car idles in a neighborhood just west of downtown, but San Antonio police say the two people inside it kept going, bailing out during a traffic stop near the corner of Julia Ross and Colima Streets and trying to run away. Within a couple of blocks, though, on Gus Garcia, police say they realized one man was a threat.
The person who was being chased pulled a weapon and turned toward the officers. Both officers shot.
Chief William McManus says that man died within minutes. He says the officers who were not hurt were able to catch and arrest the second man. Even at 5 in the morning, the situation didn't go unnoticed by people here. The commotion had neighbors up and out extra early.
Woke up to gunshots, several gunshots, and I saw the lights already and came outside just to the front porch. And
this neighbor who didn't want to show her face told us she did not know the man who was killed. Still, she says the shooting was unexpected.
The cops running around the corner back into the neighborhood, and I think I heard him say, "Get down."
She was even more surprised to find out later that the man who police shot had died. At the time when he talked to news crews, McManus had not seen the officer's body camera video yet, but he says all the evidence will be part of the investigation. Until it's complete, the 4- and 15-year veteran officers are on administrative duty. Katrina Weber, KSAT12 News.
Let's get outside with live cam. You might want to just get outside and enjoy lunch on the patio, the porch, or some seat at a restaurant outdoors, because it is absolutely perfect.
It's not even 70 degrees yet?
No,
wow.
It's not. If it could be better than, yesterday was hard to beat. This could be even a little bit better. It was chilly this morning. We started off in the 40s here in San Antonio. Clear skies and light winds led to those cool temperatures. But with the dry air in place, we'll see a warm afternoon. So, yes, it's the coldest since late March. We got down to 47 this morning. And by Friday and Saturday, believe it or not, we could be dealing with record heat. This is the flip-flop scenario we got going on. We go from cold back to hot. And we're watching what's going on in the Pacific Ocean. There's going to be some moisture down there eventually that could work its way up towards Texas. We'll explain about that coming up here in just a little bit, but that is something we're watching. 67 right now. Southeasterly winds at 5 miles per hour. Look at the really dry air. Dew points are in the low or upper 30s, I should say. And it does feel great out there. When you have air that dry, though, you get big swings in temperature. So, yes, 47 this morning, but we make it up to 78 this afternoon for a 31-degree swing in temperatures. And looking at it hour by hour, by 4 o'clock, yeah, we're up around 78 or so. Temperatures, like the last couple of days, will fall off pretty quickly this evening, down to 61 at 11 o'clock, 59 by midnight, but not as cold tomorrow morning as it was this morning. More on that forecast, 7-day forecast, too, for you, coming up in just a bit. David.
Thanks, Justin. San Antonio police trying to find those responsible for shooting and killing a man in an apartment complex parking lot. It happened late last night around 11 o'clock in the 100 block of Emerald Ash. That's on the city's south side near Loop 410 and Muirsun Boulevard. Police say a man in his 20s was talking to someone in the parking lot when he was hit by gunfire. He later died at the scene. SAPD says a silver vehicle with 3 people inside was seen leaving the area shortly after the shots were fired. So far, there are no word on any arrests.
Happening today, more feedback expected from the SAISD proposal to close down 19 school campuses. There is another community meeting today at Hoopert's Elementary on Bangor Street. It starts at 6 o'clock. The public is invited to bring their comments and questions about what the district is calling right sizing. The SAISD board will vote on that proposal November 13th.
The property where the now shuttered Pig Stand restaurant once stood for over 100 years might be the next hotspot for the downtown San Antonio area. Marketing team is hoping to attract big brand retailers like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Rolex to the future Besa district. The 15 acres mixed-use project would be across the street from the Pearl on Broadway. The development would be done in 2 phases, with the first breaking ground next year. The president of the Government Hill neighborhood says there's concerns about the scale of the project and what the developer is planning to do to improve the community for people who already live there.
With so much development going on, we definitely need some things happening here. So we just need to say, you know, you're going to come in and develop, so what are you going to give back to the neighborhood? What's going to benefit us here?
San Antonio staff have recommended the approval of rezoning for the land where the Old Pig Stand restaurant used to sit. That zoning hearing is set for 1 o'clock today.
The border and how to close it down to human smugglers and illegal crossings, but also in light of what's going on in the Middle East, security concerns front and center in Austin right now. The state's third special legislative session now underway. DPS Director Steve McGraw warning state leaders about 4 Iranians on security threat watch lists who were caught at the southern border just this month. The most recent capture on Sunday.
This last year, in 2023, we've had 151 individuals on the terrorism watch list apprehended at the southwest border.
How should we handle that? When we hear that, how should we react to that?
Well, there's no way to react other than the fact that clearly the border matters.
State lawmakers now trying to pass bills that would give longer prison sentences to those who smuggle humans across the border, as well as allow officers to arrest people crossing illegally for trespassing. Those bills could be sent to the House for full consideration later this week.
Overseas to the Middle East, where the Israel-Hamas war continues to rage on, a growing humanitarian crisis now unfolding in Gaza.
ABC's Inez de la Catera reports President Biden headed to Israel and Jordan tomorrow, trying to gather support as Israel prepares for that potential ground invasion.
Amid a deadly and growing conflict in the Middle East, the White House announcing President Biden will travel to Israel and the Kingdom of Jordan Wednesday.
First is making sure he gets an update from our Israeli counterparts about their plans, their intentions, how things are going on the ground, and make sure that he conveys a strong message of continued support. Number 2, it's really on the humanitarian front.
It comes after Secretary of State Antony Blinken had a 7-hour marathon meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israeli authorities preparing to potentially launch a massive land assault in Gaza, a city already suffering from a growing humanitarian crisis. That crisis is why President Biden is also traveling to Jordan Wednesday to meet with King Abdullah, Egyptian President el-Sisi, and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. Millions of innocent Palestinians are running out of basic necessities like food and water. No aid has entered Gaza in more than a week. Hospitals short on supplies.
We were told that the machines are no longer working because the water pressure now has dropped to the point where they can't function.
Thousands of people gathering at the Rafah border crossing, hoping to get to Egypt. But the crossing remains closed despite promises it might open for foreign nationals, including Americans. Hundreds of trucks filled with needed supplies also lining up to help Gazans, but that aid is sitting there with nowhere to go.
We need access into Gaza, and we need to be able to reach the people inside, wherever they are.
Meanwhile, Israeli officials say 199 hostages are still being held by the terror group Hamas inside Gaza, taken in last week's attack. The militant group releasing this video of 21-year-old French-Israeli citizen Mia Shem, her family giving us permission to show these images. She was kidnapped with many others from that desert music festival in Israel, pleading to be reunited with her family.
I saw my baby on television. I didn't know if she's dead or alive until yesterday. I'm begging the world to bring my baby back home.
Hamas slaughtered more than 1,400 Israeli civilians and soldiers, and in Gaza, more than 2,700 Palestinians have been killed. And about 2,000 U.S. troops have been put on alert, meaning they could be ready for deployment amid growing fears Iran and its proxy Hezbollah in Lebanon could enter the conflict. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Hey, the Cowboys didn't exactly look like world beaters last night, but they were able to beat the Chargers. Highlights are coming up in sports.
A new public art display now in full bloom, where you can see the latest installation and how the community contributed to this beautiful final product. It may not be springtime, but local parks are blooming with new flower sculptures.
Tiffany Huerta shares how the community played in a role in deciding which flowers were added to the park on the north side.
Local artist Leticia Huerta is behind these detailed flower sculptures made with bicycle parts.
The middle flower there's also a gear right in the center. And the spokes, I guess, that are sticking out from the center are also bicycle parts.
Community members and leaders gathered at Blossom Park for a dedication ceremony.
You will see the Texas Thistle, Firewheel, and the Prairie Celestial.
These flowers join the lineup of 20 other sculptures in the series that are throughout San Antonio area parks. The community selected these flowers through surveys.
So she had the challenge of taking those 3 flowers that were provided by the community and working with Wanderlust Ironworks to make sure that the flowers really represented what was selected by those community members.
On your next visit to the parks, you might catch these colorful sculptures. Tiffany Huertas, KSAT12 News.
Great day to go out to the park.
Oh, yeah, no excuses. Still sitting there at 68 degrees. Hopefully not a north wind. We can't take that at this point. We're not acclimated.
Maybe not. The winds are a little lighter than they were yesterday, so we're going to see less wind today. Blue skies. It's another gorgeous day. The aquifer, of course, down 4 tenths per foot to 632.5. It continues to fall. As nice as it is, we still need some rain, and there isn't a whole lot in the forecast. And your pollen count, it is back today. Ragweed is moderate. That tops the list. Molds, pigweed, fall elm, also there. We look at the extended forecast and talk about any kind of rain chance showing up after we come back.
A new update to that late breaking news we had at the top of the hour. Police telling us that someone was shot in the 100 block of East High Avenue.
That's near I-10 and South Hackberry Street. We are told that the victim has non-life-threatening injuries.
Good to hear that, and good to take a look outside and see this weather at lunchtime.
Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just,
He can't even, he's
so beautiful.
It's a
overcome.
Commerce day, as they say.
We're owed these days.
We are. Yesterday was beautiful. Today will be equally as beautiful. Now it is going to warm up, and I don't think you're going to like the temperatures by the end of the week. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Let's take a look at the time lapse here as we go forward in time. It was beautiful sunrise turned into a beautiful day. Blue skies, no clouds. 67 at the airport. 70 in New Braunfels, 67 Seguin, 64 Bernie, and 66 right now in Kerrville. Humidity levels are low. And we're not expecting any cloud cover today at all. 76 at 3 o'clock. We're up to 78 for a high today. Southerly winds will begin to kick in late in the day. They'll be light, though. And by tonight, temperatures will fall off, but it will not be as cold as it has been the last couple of nights. And that's due in large part to some moisture starting to come back in. Here's a look at the temperatures across the country. And we're seeing, in general, temperatures starting to moderate from behind that last front. 66 in Wichita, 69 in New Orleans. It was even a little chilly in Florida this morning, but they're warming up into the 70s, and Phoenix continues to be the hot spot there, 89. 60s and 70s across the state at this hour. Feels really good just about everywhere you go. We've got high pressure at the surface over us, and that's why we've got light winds and comfortable conditions. This does start to slide east as we get into tomorrow. And by tomorrow at this time, we'll start to have flow off the Gulf of Mexico. Starts the process of bringing in a little more moisture. Now, we've got a frontal boundary that's going to try to move through on Thursday, and it pretty much stalls out. This front doesn't do a lot for us other than dries us out. It takes dew points down by Friday, and so you look at the dew point trend here, and we climb until that front gets here, and then we see it kind of level off or fall off just a little bit. And then as we head into the weekend, humidity levels try to climb once again. So by tomorrow morning, as I mentioned, not as cold. Still chilly, though. 50 to start your morning. I should say Wednesday morning with a light wind. And as we look at the futurecast here, we have one little system that tries to move south and east. Again, that's what tries to bring that front through. It just doesn't have a whole lot of success. And then you'll notice by Friday, got this big dome of high pressure. Remember this from the summer? Yeah. This ridge of high pressure starts to move back in. It's just here for a couple days, but it is going to allow for some really hot temperatures. In fact, we could be in record territory. I'll show you that in just a second. By Saturday, high pressure still over, still hot. But after that, I think the ridge does break down and move away, thankfully. So some records are possible later this week. Yeah, we're in the 70s today. 78 is our forecast high, but look at the high Friday. Right now we're going 94. The old record is 92, set back in 1979. The record is 92 on Saturday as well. We're forecasting 92. So back into record territory, a lot of back and forth here in the extended forecast. We'll go 82 tomorrow, 88 Thursday, 94 Friday. Some more clouds by the weekend. And what we're watching next week, and I'll talk a little bit more about this at 12:30, is the possibility of some tropical moisture coming in from the Pacific. That will be helpful to maybe get some rain back in the forecast. But at the moment, no rain chances here in the 7-day.
All right. Thank you, Justin.
Dak had the game he needed against the Chargers last night in L.A. Got highlights in the Rangers opened game 2 with a Lone Star rally.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
Hey, worked out. Rangers Astros early yesterday. More on that in a minute. Then Monday Night Football, Cowboys and Chargers. Dallas need to win in the worst way. Before kickoff, oh, there was some action right there. The Cowboys came out of the tunnel close to where the Chargers were warming up. Austin Eckler, watch this. Bam, there goes that helmet right off his head. Oh, that's just a pregame warm-up. So here we go. Chargers opening drive. Justin Herbert finds Keenan Allen. He's open. That's a touchdown. 7-0 Chargers. Dallas comes right back. Dak needed a solid game after last week. Nice option read. Cape City surprised the defensive backs. They got caught in the wrong place, but he ended up in the right place, the end zone. 18-yard run, tied at 7. Go to the fourth quarter, tied at 10. Dak back. Tony Pollard picks up the rusher, saves Dak, gives him just enough time to throw that perfect pass to Brandon Cooks. Touchdown. Cowboys up 17-10. Then a huge mistake. They messed up the punt. Chargers take advantage. 4th and goal. Herbert connects with Gerald Everett wide open, tied at 17. Cowboys drive back down the field. Brandon Aubrey from 39. Cowboys now up 20-17. Chargers with time. Micah Parsons gets a sack. Then Everett under heavy rush again. It's a duck, and it is picked off by Stephon Gilbert. Cowboys win it 20-17.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is, part of the definition of a complementary football team. The offense picks up for the defense picks up for the, for the offense and special teams all the way around. So, there's plays that need to be made, especially down the stretch. And it was, it was a bumpy game out there. There's about 20, 21 penalties called, a lot of back and forth, a lot of resetting your jaw and just keep fighting. And I thought our men did a really good job there.
So the Cowboys win it. Dak, no picks. They improved to 4-2 in the season. KSAT12 Sports was there last night. So let's see what they've got for us from the Cowboys winning locker room.
I feel like we did a good job, getting the job done today. Could have been better, but, we'll keep working.
What about Dak play? What do you think about Dak play?
I think he did pretty good, making plays out of the pocket, moving around, using his legs, trying to make plays. I think he had a good game.
All right, as we mentioned before the Cowboys, it was the Rangers and the Astros. Houston trying to even up the ALCS at home where they struggled this season. Once again, the Rangers came out swinging and connecting. Ardolis Garcia drills one into right. Corey Seager was on third. Mitch Garver then gets a hold of one because that was such an easy way for Corey Seager to score. Okay, there goes Garver. That's going to drop, and Rocky Grossman is going to score. 4 Rangers crossed home plate in the first inning. So we go to the bottom of the second. Yordan Alvarez. Kiss that one goodbye. 420 feet. And he wasn't done. 2-run game in the bottom of the 8th. Alvarez again. You're gone. Astros now within 1, but in the 9th it all ended for Houston. Jose Altuve is coming up to the plate in the 9th. All he needs 1 run to tie it. Nah, not going to happen. He got it deep, got it to the warning track, but not far enough. Rangers take game 2, 5-4 is the final. Was also playing last night. They played a preseason game at home against the Houston Rockets, several in street clothes, including Victor Wembanyama. That gave some of the other guys a chance to get some playing time and show the coaching staff that not only do they deserve playing time, but they deserve to be on the roster. So there you go. There was a follow-up jam, and then there's Keldon Johnson down the lane, a little flip shot. That got it going. He got fouled as well. And the bench is cleared with all the guys who may or may not make the team, and Houston ended up coming back. Ime Udoka and Pop, little hug at midcourt. Ime, of course, spent a lot of time here in San Antonio, player, coach. Rockets get the win, 99-89. Don't get all upset. It was
our guys were resting.
It was a preseason game.
They had a wellness night off.
We all need a wellness night.
Mental Health Day. All right, we all have our favorites, but only a few lucky toys can actually make it into the Hall of Fame. How you can try to secure your favorite spot on the inductee list. That's in our next half hour.
And we've seen how artificial intelligence can already help us do so much. Now researchers are hoping that technology will allow doctors to diagnose certain types of cancer even earlier now.